8 p.m. Central Standard. I'm here live with the one and only social media ninja, Bobby, and Emerald, the youngest Emerald in the history of a 5-year, $40 million movement, the one and only Tony Morrow. Tony, what are you excited about with the Hope movement tonight?
God, I'm excited because downstairs right now, there's somewhere around 50 people in my living room, and about half of them have never seen this opportunity before.
Guys, it's all right, dude. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Here we come.
Right, we're gonna go downstairs.
What I'd love to do is help other people.
That's the new video playing.
I've been very blessed to have been able to build some very large companies at a very young age. Going back into the 90s.
All right, guys, it's the national trading call right now.
What's going on?
So, Bobby, Hope pays at the Hope House here in Minneapolis.
Oh, we know.
So, for y'all you guys who are coming in from all over North America, Bobby, this is ground zero for the Hope movement. So, everybody cheer, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Came up with an idea to put real estate on the internet. It was something that nobody
Twitter's blowing up here, guys. Just so you know.
So, look, Bobby, here's the truth, Bobby. We're doing our part, as Eric Golden would say, so everybody can win. Here's the fun part about what we do, guys. We have a sick DVD. Matter of fact, some of the top leaders in not only in the company but in the industry, you can tell we're not just telling people to use the DVD, Bobby. We're using the DVD. We're using the flip charts. You know, these amazing tools that have come out in the last couple of weeks. I cannot wait for the DVD to hit because this is going to be unbelievable. Guys, some things that happened this week. Florida, unbelievable. Tampa, Miami, Ryan Chamberlain, Eric Golden, are you kidding me? At a training event? People in Minnesota would have cut off their pinky toe to be at that event. Unbelievable. Up here in Minnesota, guys, there was an event here a few months ago called Go Diamond Weekend. Tony and I were there. We helped host that event. Guys, there were about 225 people at that event. There was over 227 people at the local event last week. Congratulations to Joel. Congratulations to Brian and Danny Morgan for hosting. Jennifer France. I mean, guys, unflippin' believable. So what is happening now in Evolv? Guys, we're launching people. We're launching downstairs. Most of these people, as Tony and I, they started at 8 a.m. yesterday out of that event. Most of the people downstairs at the Hope House have come out of that event because we're launching people. 10-5-2 in their first week is getting people to 2K at a rate. It's getting them that $400 cash bonus, Tony. Look, if they're going to start in our company, fantastic, right? They get a starter kit, momentum kit. Starter kit will take a family off of the street through Emily's place for a week. A momentum kit, Tony, will take a family off the street. Unflippin' believable. But here's the icing on the cake on top of the cake. When you help that new promoter put $700, you know, several $100s, it amounts to about $600 in their first 7 days in their pocket by helping them launch, right? It's getting them save money on their grocery bill. You've helped them achieve some of the highest levels of health that they've ever felt. By doing that, we take a family off the street for an additional 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 5-6 weeks? Are you kidding me? That's hundreds of families in the last just 3 to 4 weeks. It's unbelievable. So, Bobby, that's not even the cool part. The cool part is it has never been simpler, and it's never, Bobby, I've just never seen it go this fast. Tony, what was your feeling coming out of the weekend as an Emerald, as a guy who's gone to Go Diamond weekends, as a guy who's worked with Tony Robbins, as a guy who's seen national events? What were your thoughts coming out of the events this weekend?
Well, coming out of the event, I felt like this was the most real it's ever gotten. We had a guy on stage, Emerald Eric Knockleby, make 2 phone calls, legitimate phone calls, right on stage in front of everybody. Put it on speakerphone and everything. Left a voicemail. It was unbelievable how real it got. so that everybody could see that the leaders are doing everything that we're teaching. We're showing everybody the way, and just the feeling that everybody got from that, you could feel the energy that we're all one community doing the same things, working towards the same goals. It's just unbelievable, Nate.
Tony, what was it like seeing new Emerald Bill Fischbacher give his speech on stage? What was your feeling when that guy went up there?
It was crazy. You know, I've been with Bill from the beginning, and I've seen Bill grow along the way. You know, I've seen him develop a team, and, you know, he's built a large business before this, and he's had those ups and downs in business that everybody has. He's gone through the challenges. He's struggled his way to the top, and now as an Emerald leader, he stood on the stage. I've never seen that guy with that much confidence. I've never seen him deliver such a powerful message the way that he did this weekend and touch everybody all at the same time. It was also the largest group that he's ever had at an event, and it's just unbelievable to see the growth that he has by just plugging into the system and doing the things that he should do. And then something that you touched on amazing when you were announcing him is that he has become the best launcher in this area and quite possibly the company. He's amazing at launching people. So to hear him talk about how he launches people is going to change my business and skyrocket it to the top. It's just unbelievable, Nate.
Well, guys, we wanted to honor all the new 2Ks. Thank you so much for what you're doing with Emily's Place. Now that aside, we've got 6 weeks till the end of the year. Look, the 6 weeks, Tony, are going to happen either way. So the reality is how these 6 weeks, having been in around this industry now as a 6-figure plus income earner, guys, you need to understand something. January 1st, think about the people that you know. What are their New Year's resolutions? Does it have to do with their health? Does it have to do with finances? Does it have to do with the vacation they didn't take in 2014? Guys, everything about the Hope movement, just like Eric Golden says, hey, do you ever talk to people? When you talk to them, what do you talk to them about? Guys, what you do in this next 6 weeks will matter. And the company, Bobby, has incentivized us to take this to a whole nother level. Bobby, if you could pull those slides up, and guys, know that Bobby does an unbelievable job. And here's, if you want to see these slides live now, I mean, you can always go back to evolvcenter.com, but if you want to see these slides for the first time, jump on the internet right now, evolvcenter.com/live. We're about to show you how we're going to change the game over the next 6 weeks. So if you're ready, say I'm ready and get online. Bobby, go ahead and bring up the slides, brother. So guys, here's what's cooking. We've got a Hope DVD launch. As you guys could hear downstairs, Diamond Joel Bauman, he loves it when we tell everyone he's the youngest diamond in the company. He loves it when we tell him. So next time you see him, bring that up. But here's what's cooking downstairs. They're pressing play on a DVD. How many people can just invite a friend over for some information, invite someone to a cup of coffee, Tony, and press play on a DVD? Tony, you want to lay out some of how the official rules work for these guys?
Yeah, this is super exciting, and this DVD launch has given the company an opportunity to give to us even more. So this promotion is just unbelievable, and this is going to help more people get to Bear Lake. And some of the incentives that we're launching is how to earn more points or more qualified points towards Bear Lake. So the promo period is now between the end of the year, between now and December 31st officially. So now we have 2 new ways that you can get to Bear Lake. So one of the first ones, we're hosting presentations to earn points. So you're going to post on the uevolvcenter.com/events. You're going to post your event at least 24 hours ahead of time, and you're going to put, where it is, when it is, and all those things. Post your event. Now you're going to go to the event, and you're going to take a picture. You're going to take a picture of the event, and when you post that picture on social media, either Twitter or Facebook, use the hashtag Bear Lake Promo when you're posting it. And you can also email the pics it says in here. You just need to include your member ID number and your Hangout name and location in the message. You'll send that to info@evolvhealth.com, I believe. And I guess I'm reading here that we need 2 days ahead of time, not 24 hours. 2 days ahead of time of your Hangout that you're posting.
Send it to media@evolvhealth.com. Media@evolvhealth.com.
Thank you, Bobby.
So, Bobby, let me jump in on that for a second. Look, here's the reality, guys. If you're launching your business, you're doing this anyway. Is that true or not true, Tony? When somebody's going at this thing, here's what they need to understand about this contest. The top leaders in our entire company are already running at least 3 to 5 coffees, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, Tony, home hangouts.
Yes.
Right? They're already doing this. So you're going to sit there and tell me that if you're already doing 3 events and you post it on youevolvecenter.com, you post it in that section, and all I do is snap a picture of the event, I'm already going to do that. Trey White and Brent Hicks and the executive team are going to give me an additional point toward Bear Lake. That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely.
That is unflippin' believable. So that's one of the 5. You always see us, we're looking for the 5. Tony, that's one of the 5. That's incredible. Now, tell them about this, Tony. This looks like it actually gets easier and better. You're kidding me.
It's awesome. And so the second way that we're going to allow people to get more points is, say you have someone new getting started on your team, brand new person, and they're getting started with either a starter kit or a momentum kit. Now when you talk to them about Bear Lake, you can say they only need 4 points to get there, because now when they start with that kit, they earn 1 point towards Bear Lake already. And that's between now and December 31st again, just like the last one.
So, Tony, just so I understand this correctly, they post the events. They take the picture, hashtag, not pound anymore, right, Bobby? Hashtag.
That's right.
And they post it. It's incredible. Hashtag Bear Lake Reserve promo. That's incredible. And then just by getting started, they've got, so all they have to do is get 3. So let me get this straight. When someone gets started in our program and they launch their business, right, they make their list of 10, 20 people, 10, 5, 2, right, 10 calls, 5 opened, sitting down and interested in the program, 2 people get started. If they stretch that out to, say, like 15, right, 15, 8 or 9, 3 get started, not only have they put $700 in their pocket approximately the first week, not only have they 2K club, the shirt, the band, all of the accolades, not only have they taken a family, Tony, off the street for 5 to 6 weeks, but now if they've posted their events, if they've started with the starter kit or momentum kit, and they've gone 2K with 3 personals, now they're going to Bear Lake. Bobby, did we leave anything out? That's incredible.
That's it. That's the one. Oh,
Bobby,
you did leave out. You did leave out that current members who purchase a starter kit or momentum kit in the promo period are also eligible for that same point. So if you want to launch somebody really fast, you throw them, you buy your kit the same day that they sign on. You give them your kit. When their kit comes in, they give you that back. So that's another way for current members to get another point.
Bobby, that just speeds it up. And guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to text Brian Morgan. He's the guy who signed me up into Evolv. I'm going to text him right now and see if he wants to re-sponsor me so I can go get this thing done. That's unbelievable. Bobby, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Guys, here'd be a question Tony people would have. Well, look, Tony, I'm not Tony Emerald, Tony Morrow, almost diamond in the company. Tony, where would I go to find out? Like, here, I don't know how to do a one-on-one. I don't know how to do a home hangout. It'd be so cool if there was an instruction document on how to do that.
Yeah, and what's really cool, Nate, is this weekend, Evolv didn't only unleash the DVD, they unleashed step-by-step instructions on how somebody can do a Hope Hangout, whether that's a one-on-one presentation, helping somebody out of market, hosting a home party, or hosting a home showcase. That document is the youevolvecenter.com, and if you click on the Training Documents tab, it should be right in there, all 4 documents, step-by-step instructions telling you what you should do, what music you should play, what food you should do. Every single step you need to be successful is laid out in that document.
Tony, there's just never been. I've been around the industry. I've been with Evolv now for 25 months. I've never seen it like this, guys. January 10th is coming. That's Hope Day, right? It's an international event. It's I'm just excited for it because, Bobby, we're less than 7-8 weeks from Hope Day. Well, Tony, so you're telling me if they follow this simple system of 10-5-2, is it logical, Tony, that somebody could now go 10K, possibly 7 days, but 28 days for sure?
Absolutely.
Tony, ballpark, how much money would they put in their pocket by doing that?
At least $2,000 to $3,000.
And is it logical to say that they've helped probably, maybe 15 to 20, possibly even 30 weeks of taking a family off the street with Emily's place?
That's unbelievable.
Guys, it's incredible to be part of the Hope movement. I'm so thankful Brian and Danny Morgan thought enough of me 25 months ago to show me this program. It just keeps getting better. So let's get into the training tonight. Guys, you ever heard the expression, fortunes are made in the follow-up? You ever heard that expression? It's not just an expression. It's not just one of those things, Tony, people have coined. It's a fact. Tony, have you ever, I know you're a stud in the company, but have you ever had anybody tell you no?
Absolutely.
I mean, me too. Matter of fact, guys, here's what you need to know. Most of the top income earners in the company, here's the thing that separates them from everybody else. They've just gotten more no's than everybody else, and they've gone back and followed up with those no's. Guys, I just brought a close friend of mine into business that I showed this to, Tony, about 24 months ago. He's a financial planner. Everybody loves this guy. It just, the timing wasn't right. Called him up, said, hey, I've got some exciting things that are happening with the Hope movement. I'd love to sit down and give you an update on what we're doing. He says, it's fantastic. The timing is perfect. Tony, we're launching his business in Evolv Health. It's a perfect time to do it. Guys, here's what I want to talk to you about, the follow-up. Here's one thing that most people miss. They're thinking that the follow-up is actually done during the follow-up. They're missing that the follow-up is actually set up during the presentation. It's actually set up during the invite. It's actually set up that way. So I'm going to give you a couple of key points and just a couple of things that Emerald, Tony Morrow, and myself like to do. But know this, do something, right? We've all heard the song, say something. Say something. If you have that philosophy, the worst thing anybody can ever say to you is no, right? Nobody's ever died calling somebody back about the Hope movement, something that they're excited about. Nobody's ever had a challenge because somebody was too healthy, right? Tony, you ever ran into somebody who had actually too much money?
I don't think so.
The wealthiest people you guys know are open to the idea of making extra money. As a matter of fact, we were on a call with Trey White the other day, and he talked about how the wealthiest Americans, typically in November and December, Tony, are looking to reduce their income tax.
Yes.
That's what this program does. And as a matter of fact, you may have somebody right now who's looking at their fourth quarter taxes, Tony, going, look, I didn't realize I was going to pay in that much. I need a strategy for this last quarter to make up the difference. And all of a sudden the phone rings with a follow-up with Tony Morrow. So we're going to give you some pointers tonight. Grab a pen and paper. This call obviously will be recorded so you can play it back. But let's talk about, Tony, in the beginning of the process. Tony, what's some verbiage that you would use? Let's say I'm your skeptical friend, and I just don't want to sit. It's not that I don't want to sit down with you, right? Because there's cynical people and there's skeptical people. A cynical person, guys, as you know, they're the kind of person that just shoots from the hip. They don't get all the facts and figures, so they don't typically make an intelligent decision, and typically they're broke. Weird. They're a cynical person. They're the person that Tony goes, oh, I already know what you're going to tell me, right? I'm like, are you psychic? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, then you don't know what I'm going to tell you. Now, a skeptical person, that would be somebody like myself, guys. I'm a very skeptical person. However, skeptical people, here's what they do. They get all the facts, Tony. They get all the figures. They get all the information, and then they make a decision based on that if something is for them or not. So skeptical people are some of the wealthiest people in the United States because they make decisions very quickly based on information, and they change very slowly. Tony, like a Tony Robbins line would be, look, once of action, you don't quit, you would change your strategy, right? Change your approach. An example of an American who did that, guys, would be Thomas Edison, right? He figured out 10,000 ways, Tony, not to make a light bulb. Could you imagine being that guy walking into the gym and going, and everybody's snickering at you? Well, there's Edison, the guy who figured out 9,500 ways not to make the light bulb. Well, all of a sudden there's lights instead of gas lamps at the gym because Edison figured out how not to do it 10,000 times. So Tony, give these guys an example of a skeptical person, how you would begin to set up the follow-up from the beginning. Give these guys an example.
Well, one of the first things that I do, Nate, is make sure they know that I'm excited about it. And they're my friend, so if they're my friend, they're generally going to kind of feel the same thing that I feel. And when I talk to them, I say, hey, Nate, you know, I know that, or you and I both know that the most successful people make decisions after they have all the information. You know, I don't want you to make a decision, a rash decision right now. Let's sit down for a cup of coffee, just go over all of the information, and then we can get you your decision made. How does that sound? What works better for you, Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday night?
Tony, that's a fantastic invite. Guys, another piece that I've heard Tony add to that puzzle is, you know, hey, Nate, truth be told, so let's role play this, Tony. Look, truth be told, Tony, I don't even know if the timing is going to be right for you to do this project. I just don't know that. Tony, are you open to the idea right now of making extra money, or do you have too much?
I'm always open, but I'm pretty busy right now. But yeah, I'm always open. I never have too much.
Well, look, Tony, let's sit down for a cup of coffee. You know, take 15, 20 minutes. Let me lay out for you the project. And look, I might have to follow up with you in 6 months on this if you're that busy. But tell me this, Tony. If you had a project, let's say you had a stock or you had a company that you just knew was going to be lights out. If you had an opportunity, would you call me?
Yeah, I'd definitely call you.
Tony, that's why I'm calling you. So let's sit down and figure out if this is going to work for you. If it doesn't, who knows? 6 months, a year from now, we'll talk again. But what works better sound for a cup of coffee? Tuesday at noon or Thursday at 6?
Thursday at 6 works way better.
So, guys, you see how in the beginning we're already setting up the follow-up process. Because truth be told, the average person has to hear and say no 5 to 7 times at least before they make a decision. Have you guys ever pulled on a car lot and, Tony, you walk up and you just have a checkbook out, right, ready to write the check? Has that ever happened, or what do you say when the salesman walks up?
I'm just looking.
I'm just looking. Guys, Tony didn't just pull off the highway, right? It's minus 16 degrees out here in Minneapolis. It's something incredible. It's dark at 4 o'clock. So you're going to tell me it's dark at 4 o'clock, you pulled off the freeway, Tony, pulled in front of that white Maserati, actually you're a Mercedes guy, white Mercedes, blacked out rims, black on black, you just stepped in front of that car because you're just looking. That's what you're telling me. See, guys, fortunes are made in the follow-up. You don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know when their timing is going to be right. Tony, give me an example of setting up a follow-up during a presentation. What would be some verbiage that you would use with someone?
Well, during the presentation, you know, we're getting into it, and we're talking about the financial part. I love to use the follow-up on the financial part, and somebody will generally say, well, I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm making pretty good money with my job. And I say, well, Nate, you know, you have a spare tire in your car, don't you?
Of course.
Well, so you plan on breaking down on the way home?
Oh, no. Actually, matter of fact, I don't know the last time I got a flat tire.
Well, but you still have one, right?
Yep.
So what this is for a lot of people is that financial spare tire, that financial plan B. So I know you're doing pretty good right now, but I'm going through this information because 6 months down the road, something might happen, and you might want to get a hold of me because you know that I can help you out. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense, Tony. Guys, another one I like to use is, Tony, you ever been thirsty?
Yeah.
What if you had to dig a well? When would be the best time to dig a well? When you had a bunch of water or when you're thirsty?
Probably when I have a bunch of water.
So is it logical that you wouldn't wait to dig your second financial well either till you were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
That's when most people start looking, is when they're in trouble.
That makes sense.
Tony, what I figured out for my family is I figured out a way to dig a second financial well. As a matter of fact, Tony, just so you know, the average millionaire in the United States makes money 7 different ways.
Wow.
Tony, you've got one that's lights out. How are you doing on the other 6?
I got just a couple is all.
Well, so if I had a third way, right, Tony Morrow, extra check, would you be pissed about that?
Not likely.
You'd rip up the check and send it back?
I'd cash that sucker.
Well, if I've got a way to do that, and matter of fact, we're a 5-year, $40 million movement. When I first saw this, Tony, it was a $20 million movement. Now it's a 40. Wow. For the next 12 months, we're going to move it from 40 to 80. Now, Tony, a year from now, I may call you and follow up with you and say, look, it's an $80 million movement, Tony. We're going to move it to 160. Would that piss you off if I had an opportunity to move an $80 million company to 160?
No.
Now, at 40, you can see why that would be a better position.
Definitely.
Let me show you with this simple flip chart exactly how the movement works, and if it's for you, cool. If it's not, we're friends no matter what.
Awesome.
So, guys, there's verbiage that you can use. It's seeds you're planting. There's verbiage that you can use to move them to the next step. Tony, at the end, I'm going to go first. Let me give you an example at the end. Hey, Tony, obviously right now this isn't for you, right? You've told me no 27 times.
Right.
Obviously right now this isn't for you. But, Tony, Tuesday night in Minneapolis, we're hosting an event. There'll be multimillionaires there, professional athletes, D1 guys, best-selling authors, some of the sharpest people in our community have already joined the Hope movement. Now, I know you're a sharp guy. I know you understand your network is your net worth.
Right.
Those people will be in the room Tuesday night. You should come with me and come meet some of these people.
Sounds like some pretty cool people to meet.
So, guys, you understand that part of our follow-up process, using the calendar that Bobby and the corporate staff have, see, it's called a funnel. Once you get someone in the funnel, the only way that they can leave is they opt out. They just go, look, Tony, don't ever call me again. I love you, but don't ever call me again about the Hope movement. I've never had anybody do that in 25 months, but it is possible. So, Tony, is it logical that if somebody said that, you would honor their request?
Absolutely.
Tony, here's an interesting thing. I know this has never happened to you, but you probably know a guy who asked a gal out on a date, and she said no. I know it's never happened to you, but should that happen, do you ever have a friend that might run into that gal at a coffee shop and then ask her out again?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Right. Matter of fact, if they ever broke up the relationship, most of your friends then quit dating.
Nope.
What did they do?
Went on to the next one.
Went on to the next one. So, you guys, you understand that most of the actions that you take during your day, if you went to the grocery store, Tony, and they were out of almond milk, would you quit shopping for almond milk?
No.
Or would you just come back to the store in a week and they restock the shelves?
Exactly that.
See, guys, our process is the same thing with the follow-up. We're always helping people walk to the next step. You know, I hear Blue Diamond, Jennifer France, Brian Morgan, Eric Golden, you know, Garrett and Sylvia. All you hear them say to people is, Tony, that's fantastic. Let me ask you a question. Wednesday night, we're putting a couple of people together over at my house. Why don't you come and see this for really what it is? Here's some testimonials. Get your feet wet. Now, Tony, look, leave the checkbook in the car. My outcome is not to get you to do this. My outcome is to get you to see it, that it's larger than you and I over a cup of coffee.
Okay.
So what are you doing Wednesday night?
Coming to your house.
Dude, come check it out and get excited. And look, man, you're going to have questions. Sharp people do.
Yep.
Let's get those questions answered, and you decide this is for you. You decide the timing's right, we'll help you do it. You should join the movement. If it's not, we're friends no matter what. See you Wednesday night.
Awesome.
And Tony, bring ice. You're the ice guy. You don't come, you know, like $3 worth of ice. We don't have ice if you don't come. So you're gonna bring ice?
Perfect. I'll bring ice.
Now Tony's coming on Wednesday because he's gonna think, oh man, I got to go to the gym. Well, yeah, but I told Nate I was bringing ice, and he told me they would not have ice if I didn't come. Okay, I'm coming. See, there's things that you can do. Fortunes are made in the follow-up. Tony, give me an example of someone that you've sat with that, look, Tony, here's the truth. I'm just graduating college. I'm moving out of my place. My girlfriend just dumped me, so all my stuff's in boxes. I'm part of NASA, so I've got to be at the space shuttle on Tuesday. And then from there, I'm going to Antarctica. And then from there, right, I'm on the world team, so I'll be in Russia for 8 months. Give these guys an example of why be here a year from now, one, and how do you follow up with people? How does Tony Morrow follow up with people? Everybody wants to know.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing for me, if I hear no, my mind isn't no, it's not yet.
Mm.
You know, I've had a couple of people get started a year and a half into it when I showed them my first week. But what happens is if I'm not there a year from now, if I quit 4 or 5 months in, then I don't get them started. You know, I love your story that you tried to sit down with Joel Bauman, Diamond Joel Bauman, for over 6 months. I know tons of people who have quit in less than 6 months. So had Nathan France quit, he just lost one of his diamonds that he sponsors, and now his life is different. His financial future is different. So when I follow up with somebody, you know, or when I'm setting up that follow-up, I say, hey, is it okay if I just get a hold of you 90 days from now and just let you know how I'm doing? I have yet to have a single person say, no, I don't want to know how you're doing. Every single person wants to know how I'm doing. Now, then when I follow up with them, that holds me accountable to getting to that next rank or improving my business, increasing my income, increasing my movement. So that's the way that I usually follow up with people.
Well, Tony, that's fantastic. Let me use another example. There's a trainer in our company who's blown this up down in Arkansas. His name's Neil. Most people know the Tribbles. They're great people. Tony, would that blow your mind if I told you that Ryan Chamberlain followed it up with Neil for 40 months? I mean, almost 4 years down the road.
So crazy.
And what do you think the odds are Ryan, with his posture, his passion for what we do, continued to build the business? And when he called Neil 40 months ago, let's say Ryan was a diamond 40 months ago. Well, then he calls him 24 months later, right? And then all of a sudden he's a blue diamond calling Neil. Well, then all of a sudden he's an ambassador calling Neil. Neil obviously can see that it works because you work. See, guys, where most people miss it is they just miss it. They miss the fact that if I look Tony in the face and go, look, brother, your timing's not right. I get it. It wasn't necessarily right for me, and as a matter of fact, Tony, the timing may never be right for you. It just may never be. So, Tony, this probably isn't going to be for you, but let me tell you what I'm going to go do here. Right? Over the next 7 months, I'm going to build a diamond business. I'm going to build a 6-figure income part-time on my schedule. I'm looking to lock arms with you. If it's not for you, cool. But does it make sense, Tony? I want your permission to follow you up 6 months from now. Because the only reason you wouldn't partner with me is you don't want a 6-figure income. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Now, Tony, hit me with, well, how much money are you making now?
How much money are you making right now, Nate?
Tony, I haven't made a dime. I just started, but I'm about to make a whole bunch. Tony, 10 years from now, in our industry, if you're here 10 years from now following Evolv system, you're about 95% chance of making a 6-figure income or greater for people who have never done this before. They just got to do the system and be here 10 years from now.
Wow.
Tony, how long do people go to college?
I mean, usually 4 to 8 years.
So, and at the end, the university goes, look, I'm going to write you a check for $10,000. You're going to 95% chance of making a 6-figure income coming out of college. They write that on the diploma somewhere, right on the back, and like lemon, so you can maybe put a heat lamp on it. Secret code.
No, I wish.
How many people would line up to go to college if they 95% chance they were going to make a 6-figure income after 10 years of being in the program?
Pretty close to everybody.
Everybody. There'd be a 24-month waiting list to get into the program.
Yep.
See, guys, that's actually what we do. If you're here 10 years from now, your friend will know. They'll watch you on Facebook. See, one of the ways that we follow up is called social proof. It's not called blast everybody, Bobby, on Facebook. Check out my site. Talk about Trey and Brent. These guys are unbelievable. We were just with them, Bobby, in Lake Tahoe. That's a resort that Trey White and the team owns. So we were there, and Tony, it wasn't check out my site. It was, hey, we're in Emerald Bay on Trey's 3-bedroom yacht. You should come. You could be here. Tony, we're going to be in Ireland together. We're going to be in Bear Lake together. So, you guys, that's the social proof. And what do you think the odds are if your friend now knows you're in the Hope Movement, and Tony, they say no, not now, not for me, whatever they say. What do you think the odds are when they see you holding your $10,000 Happy Gilmore check on stage as a national trainer with the company, that they now believe it's real?
Pretty good odds.
I have a 10K guys in my business who saw this literally 25 months ago. One of the first persons I showed the Evolv to. When I was standing on stage holding my blue diamond check, weird that person called me and said, hey, I'm ready to get started. That is now worth my time. Multiple 6-figure income. Tony, I'm ready to join the Hope Movement. Wow. That didn't shock anybody, right?
Right.
Guys, that's the leverage that you can get when you follow up, when you're here. See, most people get started in any business. They're not like a Japanese business owner that writes a 100-year business plan, Tony. They're going, hey, next week, if I haven't made $1 million doing one left, one right, I'm out of the industry, right? It didn't work for me, right? Tony, these are the same people that join the gym. Do you know statistically, Tony, when people join a gym, for every 10 people that join, only one works out once? I mean, that's how thin the numbers are.
Wow.
Right? The average business in the United States in the first 2 years has over a 90% failure rate.
Wow.
Right? Because people don't think about, here's the next step. See, Tony, when Jen and I got married, the best advice I ever got was a guy asked me, he goes, hey, what does your wedding cake taste like at your anniversary? Tony, what does your cake taste like at your 65th anniversary?
It's a good question.
And he said, if you don't know the answer to that, don't get married. See, guys, when I saw the Hope movement, I was looking for a company not that I could live with, right? I had done that. You're doing that, right? 93% of Americans, Tony, are unhappy with their job. 80% of Americans want to have their own company. They want to be their own boss. It's just the numbers, right? Small business administration statistics. What if I told you you just came into the Hope movement and found the company, Tony, that you can't live without?
Wow.
That's what it was like for Jen and I. We had found the company that we'd spent, better part, half a century, because I'm not as young as you are, looking for the movement. And when it found us through friends of us that cared enough about us, that I'll tell you the truth, the timing may not have been right. For Joel, right, 6 months. But because of the way people show it, because of their posture, because they're in the movement, the fortune will be in the follow-up. Tony, any final thoughts?
I want to emphasize what you said, Nate, is be here a year from now.
Be here a year from now, guys. You heard it from Emerald, Tony Morrow, future diamond in the company. Bobby, as we wind down, look, December 6th, there's a gala in Minneapolis. Look, it's open to the entire company. Fly into town. Come party with us that weekend. It's going to be unbelievable. Hope Day's coming. The Hope Day calendar is up. It looks like there's 5 or 6. Tony and I peeked at earlier. 5 or 6 locations are already up. Guys, I've heard a rumor that the very first Hope Day ever there's gonna be one in Iowa, Tony.
Wow.
There hasn't been one. Guys, statistically, in the United States, there's 50 states last time I checked.
Yep.
Right now in the Hope movement, Bobby, there's barely 10. When we do this call a year from now, just like Tony Morrow said, when we do this call a year from now, there will be a promoter in all 50 states. Well, guess what? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Tony, by doing 10, 5, 2, gets people 2, 4, 8, gets them 64. Now there's an Emerald in every one of those states a year from then, at least. What does it look like 10 years from now? Guys, look at that last page in the chart, right? Where do you want to start? And start your movement. Fortune's in the follow-up. Look, not everybody's designed to say yes right away. But everybody eventually will be in the movement. You just got to be here when it happens. You have to be the one that follows up. Fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, thank you so much for joining Tony and I on the call. Bobby, we're going to turn it back over to you, brother. Did we leave anything out? We're so freaking excited. You can hear it in our voice. Bobby, any final thoughts from you, brother? Everybody in Evolv, here's what they would like. Next time we do a Hope Hangout, they'd like you to do it with your shirt off, just so they can get the true flavor of what we're doing.
Not going to happen.
Bobby, we appreciate everything you do for us. Give Craig, Trey, Brent, everybody a hug. Craig, thank you so much for coming to Minneapolis. We will see you guys in about 7 weeks at Hope Day. Life will never be the same again. See you soon.